avoid burnout? I think that's something that a lot of people are dealing with right now. So Isaiah, we'll start with you. How are you avoiding burnout or maybe coping with that?
Um, I think when I'm starting to feel burnt out, I will normally just, if it maybe it's at the end of the day or when I get off work, I kind of take like 20, 30 minutes to just kind of like sit down and like usually I'll just like pet my cat or something like that and and like just kind of hang out and not really think about anything else so that I have a chance to kind of do some like reflective work on myself and make sure that whatever is causing the burnout isn't something that's like affecting me personally. It's something that's outside of myself and kind of just making sure that I can recenter myself.
I love that. Stephanie, what about for you? How do you avoid burnout or what are you doing to kind of deal with that as we return back to somewhat normal?
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, even before COVID, a lot of our concern in our association for our profession has been teaching athletic trainers and those in athletics how to avoid kind of the burnout of athletics. It's go, go, go all the time. Kind of like Derek said earlier, things are always changing, day to day, week to week, sometimes even by the hour. And I think COVID especially kind of brought that to light of how much things can change in a matter of like days. Um, and I think the biggest thing for me has been teaching myself to take time to be unavailable. So a lot of times I've always been like, I'm available anytime you need me, like text me, like call me, whatever time of the day. And I've noticed that it's something that it's exhausting, like almost even when you're trying to take time for yourself and you get home and you're starting to decompress and then somebody texts you something about work, somebody is asking questions about things, and I've had to almost set a time for myself where like, okay, after 7 o'clock, like regardless of what anybody's saying, unless it's emergent, I'm gonna just let it wait until tomorrow. I'm gonna wait until I wake up and start getting ready for the day. And just kind of making myself allow time without having to keep working all day. I think that's kind of been honestly the biggest thing that's been helpful for me. Because at the beginning of COVID, when everything was changing and being available, it was tiring. Like the only time I really took a break was when I slept. And so being able to be disciplined in the way of providing myself that time to decompress and not to worry about non-emergent things going on with work has really helped me a lot, to just kind of keep going through it and not feel so burnout.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point there because you talk about how really the only time that you were getting a break is when you were sleeping. And I think for so many, like, people may not realize if they're not an athletic trainer that, just because COVID was happening, just because sports weren't happening, doesn't mean that you weren't still busy, maybe not, even busier than you were before. And so I think that's really important to point out. And I love like creating those boundaries, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. And so it's so important to not be available. I love that. I love that. Chris, what about for you? How do you avoid burnout?
Well, I haven't done a great job at it my whole career. I'll say that. So I will take the silver lining of COVID and say, man, we learned a lot of things. And I think burnout was, to Stephanie's point, where we were already, as a profession, we were burned out before COVID. So, and it made our lives a lot busier. COVID did not give us a break, but it changed things up. It shook it up for us. It changed our duties. Sports were put on hold for a while. And for me, it just kind of reminded me that, it's okay. This is a job. Okay. It's okay to separate from your job. And, athletic trainers have this, I think it's something that's been taught to us. It's a standard of you're on call 24/7. And that's the reality of it. You'll get calls at 2 a.m. You'll get, texts at 3 a.m. And you feel like it's it's your duty to be there. And so really setting those boundaries has been great for me. And I've gotten a lot better at it over the last couple of years, but really it's just putting your phone on do not disturb, easy things like that, you know, at 8 o'clock at night when you're getting ready for bed. And just not having the stress of that, it helps you so much, and it helps you start your day great. You know, you can start your day fresh and move forward.
Chris, I love that you mentioned do not disturb because my phone also goes on do not disturb automatically every single day at 8 p.m. and is on do not disturb until 7 a.m. in the morning. Like I'm out, I'm not available. So I love that. It's really important to set those boundaries for sure. Carissa, what about for you? How do you avoid burnout?
Honestly, I'm a very go, 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 no time in the schedule person. So this year I really focused on taking time about 20, 30 minutes before practice every day and just relaxing a little bit, scrolling social media, you know, just hanging out with my teammates, relaxing. And then every night I make sure I set aside time to do the same thing, read a book, you know, FaceTime a couple friends, really just relax, let myself, you know, relax from the day, from the week. And then during the weekend, I usually have a little more time outside of work. So I really focus on, you know, getting into a hobby or doing something that I really want to over the weekend to just relax from all the stress of the week.
Eric, what about for you?
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, just like athletic training, burnout's a very real thing in the strength and conditioning world too, because the in sports performance, because sometimes you have groups at 6 in the morning all the way through till 6 p.m. depending on the school you're at. Sometimes it's I've been in some situations where it's 2 people for 15 teams, you know, and it's you get to the end of the day and you feel like you've been kicked by a mule, you know, and I think the important things is find something you love doing outside of athletics. So we all got into athletics, whether as an athlete or as a coach or an administrator or a staff member, because we love it and love being around it. We love the profession. But finding something outside of that, whether it's reading or it's hiking or it's, you know, volunteering for a charity, just something that takes your mind off of the day. Kind of like, you know, everybody else has kind of been saying that taking your mind off of, you know, the hustle and bustle of the everyday is immensely important.